The girl is trembling on the cliff, but the man down there wants to touch her. The girl gives him a kick. The man screamed for a few times. Then he went to the northwest. The girl was so scared, she continued to climb up. The rest of the 3 perverts started to scream. The girl pretended not to hear. She can't be distracted by fear because her palms are all sweat. She knows that as long as she climbs to the top of the mountain, she can escape from the other side of the mountain. But in the next second, she can't let go of the animal she is most afraid of. Fortunately, the venomous snake returned to the cave. She was safe. The girl continued to climb up. Her hands were exhausted, but the perverted man down there still wanted to bite her. He took out a bottle of water and wanted to take a sip, but his hand slipped. The perverted man was so happy that he drank a sip of water. Then he laughed at the girl. "Oh, that is so good. Fuck you." The girl continued to move forward with a gun, but suddenly there was no way up there. There was a rope next to it, but the distance seemed to be a little far. The girl retreated. She pulled out a thin string from her backpack. She pulled the rope over, but the next step was the most dangerous. She grabbed the rope and wanted to fight for her life. Fortunately, she succeeded. At this time, the girl found a tent hanging above. She carefully moved up. She climbed to a very small platform. She thought she could breathe, but she was in a dead end. The perverted man climbed on top of her. He climbed to the top of her head. "Is that you, Kelly?" It was cold. The man let go of the rope. He said that if the girl gave up struggling, he could spare her life. But when he took back the rope, he received an international greeting from the girl. The men were angry and decided to kill the girl. At such a high altitude, he didn't care if she would freeze to death at night. But the girl didn't want to sit and wait. She picked up a piece of junk. She hung it on a weak hook. Then she dug into the tent that would fall into the abyss at any time. But she could finally take a break. But the perverts on top of her started to make trouble again. At a critical moment, she picked up a life in her backpack. But the pervert took out a knife. Fortunately, the girl was nimble. She grabbed the rock wall and climbed up. She was shocked. She was about to collapse, but she could only cheer up. She dug back into the tent that was about to fall. The girl, exhausted, fell asleep for a second, but the next second, she was shocked again. In the chaos, the girl stabbed the pervert. The pervert, in pain, threw the girl out directly. Fortunately, the girl grabbed her belt tightly. The girl hit her thigh again. She threatened her to let her companions pull them up, but when they came up, the pervert grabbed her hair. The girl had to cut it off with a knife. Fortunately, she grabbed the tent in an instant, but the tent was gradually loosened. The girl climbed back to the platform, but now she lost her shelter. A gust of wind blew her into the abyss. The second and third children began to panic. They didn't want to risk their lives to catch a pervert. They wanted to sneak down the mountain without the boss knowing, but they didn't know the boss was just pretending to sleep. Just when the second child woke up to pee, they tied up the third child in the dream and lit it up. They kicked it down. The girl was so scared that she didn't slow down. The pervert killed her in person. Unexpectedly, the girl ended the battle in 3 seconds. The pervert finally realized his mistake. He shouldn't have offended the woman. Watch the movie Fine Moon. We will continue to recommend you exciting survival movies.